So my name is Richard Canale. I am the chair of the Lexington Planning Board. And if Lexington is fortunate enough to be one of the two at-large towns, I would be the town's designee to the MPO. Let me tell you a little bit about Lexington and myself. Number one is that if you really want to know stuff, online for the Boston MPO website, we have our candidate statement, and that talks a little bit more. I'm not going to bore you with all those details. Other than I think Lexington is in a fairly unique situation because we're right on Route 128. We look both into Boston because a lot of our people work in Boston. We look out to the outer suburbs, and I think being on the edge of the T's routing and buses, we get to see sort of both interacting to see what the outer suburbs look like as well as the inner core towns and cities. So I think we're in a good position. We have been in the forefront of a lot of transportation initiatives. Our express local bus service is very successful, and we also share in commuter bikeway and have been active in a number of fronts. About a dozen years ago, when I first served on the Lexington Planning Board before I took a vacation for a few years, I had the opportunity to represent either the Minuteman Advisory Group, the Magic Subregion of MAPC, or the town of Lexington, because they were both open spots to the Regional Transportation Advisory Council. And I chose to represent the Magic Subregion because I felt that I had more interest in looking at things from a regional perspective rather than from a single town perspective. And so we have served, so Lexington has had someone serve on the Advisory Council, but I've represented Magic on the Advisory Council. In the early, maybe about 8 years ago or so, I was fortunate enough to be elected by the Advisory Council to be chair, and as part of the chair is that you are a member of the Planning and Program Committee, which is the part of the MPO that up until next month did all the heavy lifting. And so for a couple of years, every other Thursday for hours on end, I would be at these meetings trying to help shape the agenda. And I think partly because of that, and partly because Laura, who is the past chair of the Advisory Council, know what work is involved. Maybe we should be disqualified because you sort of have to really have an interest in putting in the amount of time, both in terms of meeting time plus the preparation time before that. In any event, let's see, what else? So why do I want to be, why does Lexington want to be on the MPO? Under the old rules, because Bedford had served as the as the NPO member for like about 14, 15 years or thereabouts. Lexington was precluded from running unless we wanted to challenge Bedford, and Bedford has been doing a fantastic job, so we did not want to challenge them. And I think and I have been active on the Advisory Council for the last dozen years. I've served on a number of committees. And if you want to know more about our stand, Lexington stand, there's two reports that would be on the MPO website under the Regional Transportation Advisory Council, and that is two letters that we sent to the MPO about the concerns of the Advisory Council in terms of the long-range plan and in terms of the Transportation Improvement Program, which I think reflect Lexington's values in terms of how we think the MPO is on the right track and what we think is not on the right track in terms of really looking at a more balanced approach. Some of the concerns that I have is that, as Clarissa has said, there's just not enough money for all the projects that we want to do. So in addition, I mean, the critical part about being on the MPO is to plan and program what funds are available and to make those transportation choices. But I think sort of beyond that, part of it is sort of a leadership piece of it, and that is to help set policy, to help figure out, how to get the revenues that are needed and to make sure that the transportation system is fairly effective and efficient. The other piece is that part of when I served as chair, one of the important things to me has been the public participation. One of the things I think is that we need to do a better job is to make sure towns, especially TIP coordinators, have a better understanding of the process, that if a town is going to spend money to put up design funds, and more increasingly it's towards 100% design, the more consistency and predictability needs to occur with communities, so that if they're going to put these funds in, I think the MPO sort of really needs to give better direction so that towns can make those decisions, especially early on. And I think hopefully no one from Lexington is going to look at this tape, because it says, how can you best represent the region? I think part of my concerns is the 101 communities, and hopefully Lexington fits into that piece of it, but it's not in terms of what can we do in terms of Lexington, but what can we do for the 101 communities, and I think that's where I'm at. Thank you.